kind of like global success. Do you think it's easier, though, for UK bands to make it in America after bands like Coldplay and Radiohead have done so well? Are British bands back in vogue, do you reckon?
I think in the last 10 years they've been pretty much out, apart from those bands that you mentioned. I think that...
But even bands like Idlewild and, the list is endless of bands who've done... Star Sailor have done really well out there in the last 5 years.
Well, I think that things... I think it's about time that there were more English bands doing well over in America. Obviously a lot of American bands have done very well over here. I think it's obviously America's always been good for creating hard rock music, and rock music over there is still massive and always has been, never really goes out of fashion, the kind of hard rock thing. I think the only thing is, like, a lot of English bands haven't really created any kind of good rocking bands or hard rock bands, if you like, for a number of years. And I think the Americans' perception of English bands is usually quite soft bands or soft rock, And I think...
well, you're going to give them a surprise then, aren't you?
Well, I think that's what I'm looking forward to, actually. I'm looking forward to showing them that English can rock a little bit,
Especially three boys from Devon. Let's play something from your list of favourite songs. We're going to play a couple of your influences a bit later on, but what have you got?
A band called Flaming Lips, called Do You Realise, which I think is brilliant. It's got great lyrics, really simplistic lyrics, and it's like a really kind of epic track. And
very good live.
Very great live.
If slightly bizarre.
Yeah, very theatrical, very unusual. I kind of like that theatrical element. I think it's no one else is really doing that kind of thing, apart from people like maybe Tom Waits or something, but it really is spectacular, yeah.
OK, this is the Flaming Lips, picked out by Matt Bellamy from Muse. Now, the three of you, the band, of course, have been together as mates for nearly 10 years. I mean, the fact that you're 25, you obviously got together when you were 15, meeting up at school in Devon. It must have been quite a quiet place for you to grow up and then, to experience your teens and try to get into music. Surely not the easiest place to start a rock band.
Well, I mean, there's nothing much going on there for young people anyway. I mean, it's a nice quiet place where people kind of go down with their families, and a lot of old people retire there.
I'm from Bournemouth, so welcome to my life.
There you go, yeah. And it's kind of like, you just get the young people who don't have anything to do apart from drink cider and get into fights down the seafront with, like...
bringing back some great days,
exactly,
man, I tell you.
And you get these kind of older guys, like early 20s, driving around in their Capris, picking up all the teenage girls, that kind of thing. That wasn't me, by the way. No. So that was kind of all there was really going on for the young kids. And I think maybe for that reason alone, that being in a band was something maybe more important than it would be for someone living in a city, maybe, because it's the only thing we had to do. So I think getting in a band was like some kind of escape from boredom, if you like, or some kind of... it was almost like we created a little bit of our own nightlife as well, because it wasn't just us. There was loads of other little bands that were kind of starting off around that time. In fact, like, I started with Dom, the drummer of our band, in another band when I was about 14, and Chris was in a different band. And there's a whole load of different bands going on around that time. We used to kind of all like rent out like the local sports hall and get all our mates around and get a load of cider in and get drunk and like do a load of gigs. And it was kind of like we'd invented our own little nightlife for the teenagers, And
could have turned to petty crime, but it turned to rock music instead. Because it's obviously not a place that you could easily access a lot of your influences. I guess you couldn't wait for the summer when you jump in someone's car and you head up to, I don't know, maybe Glastonbury or Reading or something like that.
I think festivals. I think one of the reasons why we love playing festivals is because when we were growing up, obviously that was the only time we could get to see international bands playing, as well as the biggest local bands as well playing in the gigs. They wouldn't really come down and tour down where we were. I mean, all the big bands will sort of come into like London and maybe Manchester and then disappear onwards, Which
is why you made an effort, I think the last night of your UK tour was to play
to play down in Exeter, because I mean, the only people that played down in Exeter is like Robbie Williams or Oasis, and I think apart from them, all the other bands don't really tour down there very often, so we kind of made an effort to, all the tours we do in the UK, we always try and do at least one gig down there. And but yeah.
So what were the band's influences, even back then at this early stage when you were, still playing in sports halls and getting ready for your GCSEs? What were you listening to?
Back then, I was listening to like probably Nirvana and Smashing Pumpkins.
So we're talking about 1990. Well, that would have been the year that Kurt, killed himself as well.
Yeah,
so
kind of around that period of time. Yeah. Stuff like when I was like 13, 14, I was listening to groups like Wedding Present, Ned's Atomic Dustbin, Senseless Things, all that lot, But I don't know, I think as I kind of grew up from my sort of later teenage years, I started getting into more sort of other stuff, like some of these groups here. Like I've got like Queen and Jimi Hendrix.
Oh well, let's play one of those. What do you want to go for? I mean, Queen, Hendrix is great. Up to you.
Let's go for Jimi Hendrix. Crosstown Traffic. I think it's a perfect track for getting stuck in London.
Tell me about it. Superb song. Okay, listen, let's play it. It's picked out by Matt Bellamy from Muse. Was the music you wanted to make when you started out in this little band called, was it Rocket Baby Dolls?
Right, yeah. That was kind of the first name that we took when me and Dom and Chris first met each other and decided to form a band making original music, like not doing cover songs, if you like. This was about, I suppose, 15, 16. And but there's like this Battle of the Bands contest going on in the local